All right, welcome everyone. Good evening from this side of the world. My name is Hallel, and you're welcome to Tech Talks, Tech Tales. I want to welcome each and every one of you here this evening. I know you're joining from all around the world. Thank you so much for joining. If you're joining us from LinkedIn, can you just say hi, give a reaction? Wherever you're joining us from, I'd like to know where you're joining us from. My name is Hallel. You can tell me what your name is, tell me where you're joining in from. I'm super pumped and super excited to have you all here. Thank you so much for joining me. So quickly, let's jump into the comment section. Come and drop a comment, say hi, hello. I'd like to know where you're joining us from. I'd like to meet you. What's your name? What's your name? You're welcome to Tech Talks. Yeah. Welcome to Tech Tales. Yeah, so very soon we get started, but I'd just like to meet you all in the comment section. So I'd like to see your comments. Send in your comments right away. Send in your comments right away. I like to hear you. I like to meet you. I like to know who is here with us. Yeah. I like to know who is here with us. So just comment in the comment section. I'd like to say hello. Yeah. Yeah. I want to welcome each and every one of you. Thank you for joining. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining. Thank you. This is another exciting episode of Tech Tales, and right here with me, I have our guest seated in the lounge, and he's just waiting for each and every one of you to come in. So I'm just going to sit back and relax. I want people to join in first before we start. This conversation is not just for two people; it's for each and every one of you. So if you're right here with us, you can go ahead and share the message, share the links. Tell someone that we are live here on this stream. Tech Tales is life. Tech Tales is life. We're about to have a very interesting conversation, and I know you are going to love it. I know you are going to love it. All right. So we're just going to give it like 2 more minutes and just make sure that everyone is seated in, chilled, and relaxed. Right. So I'm just going to give a few more minutes waiting for you all to show. Right. But so just gonna give it 1 more minute. I can see our guest is getting ready. I can see plenty ginger on his body. Don't worry, we're going to have a nice time this evening. I really trust that I'm going to have a nice time. By the way, how was your day? What was your day like? You can see that in the comment section. Let me just see you. How was your day? What's your day like? How was it? Were you stuck in traffic? Did you have a very busy day like mine? You know that day when you have your to-do list and so many things just keep interjecting your to-do list. Yeah, that was my day, my practical day. People on the field were like, "Oh, we're having these issues. What can we do?" Blah 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 blah. Oh my God, it's just a whole lot. I just wish I could just stick to what I wanted to do and just do it till the end of the day. But no, I would have loved to hear how your day was, but right about now, yep. Right about now, I think we're going to go live and welcome on stage our guest for today. So I'm going to bring him up on stage. But before I do bring him up on stage, this is Tech Tales, and on Tech Tales, we discuss exciting topics and exciting experiences about people's career in tech, especially as tech support professionals, be a business analyst, be a data analyst, be a project manager, or be a product manager. We share exciting experiences about our work and how we navigate the challenges that we experience. So right here on Tech Tales, this is where you hear the juiciest, most interesting gist about tech, tech experiences and whatnot. So right here with us today, we're having a very exciting individual in the person of Mr. Chima, and let me bring him up on stage first. So as I bring him up on stage, please put your hands together as we welcome Mr. Chima on stage.
Thank you so much, Ray. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
I am very grateful and happy to be here. Since my camera setting isn't all good, let me adjust it a little so it's better.
yeah. I think that's
Yeah, good
perfect.
one
That's
now.
perfect. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Chima. How are you doing? How's your day?
I'm all right, doing well. Just in here, ready to share a lot. Just that little
Yeah.
thing and all of that. But yeah, we're here now. I'm all right. What about
Okay.
you?
Okay. Yeah. I had a splendid day. I was telling them that I had the day full of interjections, but I'm
Yeah, I
yeah,
get that. That's part
exactly.
of the
So
interjection, right? Part of it. Part of it. Unavoidable. I get that.
all right, so I think we're going to get right into it right immediately. I was having a little issue there. Yeah, so Mr. Chima, thank you for joining us once again. But
Thank
so
you.
for now, I would like to go straight into it. So you said you're going to share with us an exciting experience about the mistakes you made as a rookie business analyst. But before we get into that, just give us, who is Mr. Chima? I know that from your LinkedIn. Okay, before I bring you up,
Uh,
something really exciting. I'd like to share this. I
Thank
was
you.
on LinkedIn one very blessed day, as the only business
Uh,
analyst that I was surfing through LinkedIn and I saw one very interesting post. This is a story about how I met our guest here. I saw one
okay.
interesting post about how someone was articulating the different types of the different tasks that a BA has and how to execute those tasks. And it was beautifully written, beautifully designed, beautifully put out, and I really loved it. I didn't have an option but to, post that post and tag all the senior BAs that I know in the industry, and they came on the post, and it was something else. It was amazing. That was how I met our interesting guest here, and it's really a pleasure that when I got talking with him, we connected on another level. Connection on
Right.
LinkedIn is one thing, but connection personally is another. And I'm really glad to say that it was amazing meeting you. Thank you so much, Mr. Chima, for joining us. So, can we meet you briefly before you begin telling us your story?
Get into it really, right? It's a good one. Thanks so much, Hallel. I've told you your name is
Yeah.
actually quite hard to pronounce, but I'm going to continue to learn it, right? I wouldn't want to
Okay.
bite my tongue in that pronunciation, but yeah, it's a good one.
Okay.
A few things, getting to know you. I don't know. We connected on a great level with you
Yeah,
seeing
we
the
did.
post, reposting it, and a whole lot. I was bewildered. One of the things I made a thing within my career is to always like have a sort of an online presence, especially on LinkedIn.
Yeah. Yeah. True.
It's quite professional to come out boldly and share some knowledge equally and connect with like minds, right? Which if I hadn't started, I probably wouldn't be in this session, right? Small
Exactly.
wins. Let me
Exactly.
talk about small wins. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
a good one. And having to see the host of other BAs you tag to that post to say, come and
Yeah.
see what's being done here. It's marvelous. Thanks so much for that one. I'm Chima Ezeokolie. I program manager and a business analyst as well, of skills around quality assurance as well and data analysis. I've just been someone who passionately love tech, right? Growing up has always been a hassle around what would you do? What skill do you have? I think it's everything parents talk about recently. A little discussion, people into the idea of okay, what skill do you have at the moment? Which can you share? So it's a lot more good to have all of these skills. And yeah, I would say I'm a professional who is adept in managing projects and deriving business solutions. That segment. Are you still there?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. I'm here. I just wanted you to, take center stage for a second and do your
Yeah.
thing. All right. So since we know that about you, that's amazing.
I realized that. Makes sense.
All right. So
Makes
since we know
sense. You gave me the stage for a minute.
exactly,
Makes sense.
so since we know that about
Thank
you
you.
now, so can you jump
Thank
right
you.
straight? Me, sir, I want to hear the story. I know some people in their mind will be thinking that, Oh, I know the story you want to share. I don't know. It's right here. I want to hear that gist. Because
Yeah.
as a BA, all of us have an interesting story about when we first became a BA. So I'd like to hear from you. What was that interesting experience for you as a business analyst on your first project? Please take it on.
Oh, it wasn't as if I was into the science field. I wasn't even a science student in school. So, but then, having got into the business world, getting to have my hands on one thing or
Mhm.
the other, um, I decided to get into a field that is lucrative. At first, the company I joined initially, as a business analyst, it wasn't all that favorable. That anticipation after NYC here
Mm.
in Nigeria, you're getting to look for a particular job, and then you got yourself into something you felt probably would have an effect on you. You're just trying out a lot of things to see what makes sense. And then in all of that, business analysis stood out for me. Project management not excluded actually, but this is about business analysis, and we'll have to talk about
Yeah.
it squarely. So business analysis stood out for me based on its analysis, its ability to point out errors. It has techniques, it has metrics you'd have to utilize to be able to analyze situations and bring about a sort of derive change, things like that. So, but then with all of this knowledge, even as I've got into the field, it's a few errors were still there. You might think you're good, you're so good until you're given the bricks and the cement to build the house. You find out that you probably don't even know anything. You just had the idea
Exactly.
and can't even construct it
Mm.
in. So getting in as a BA in my first profession, a whole lot of things were a mess. Talk about I had idea about gathering requirements. Every BA, right? That requirement gathering, elicitation. I was thinking as poems, as sermons everywhere. But then when it gets to that core responsibility of engaging
Okay.
stakeholders, meeting them to talk about all of their needs, to know exactly what you're
Mm.
solving or the process you're improving or a business change you're bringing in, you find out that you'd have to be a little
Yeah.
technical. At least so many ideas around going diagnostic or trying to elicit responses from stakeholders is not something you'd have to just go without technical
So,
know-how. So for me, I dabbled into that situation, and then the whole idea I was like, okay, good, I have to get into an interview segment with these guys, ask them questions, and then gather whatever, without knowing that it's a priority to write down interview
ew.
questions. Now I don't know, I don't know how many persons that must have heard of this, but in your mind, you talk. I don't know. I'm just talking about business
Exactly.
analysis. The idea around interviewing and using surveys to gather requirements. You just been singing it, but now in practice, you forgot or you didn't even know. You felt like it's just going there to just talk about, ask the person any sort of
Mm.
question, but having a very structured questions at home or even in the office before going for that adventure is
Right.
key. That was something I learned in a hard way because getting to a position where I'd have to start thinking of the next question to ask, try putting in the next work or the next action, trying to know the next thing I could pull up to be able to get the requirement for
Mm.
the project was an error.
Wow. Wow.
My business leader didn't find it funny. It's affected our timeline, but yeah, everything has a way of coming back to normal, especially if you found the cause at the
Yeah.
beginning to be able to mediate it and follow
Mm.
through the process. That's just one out of a lot.
So let me ask, what
I
was
can't
that
even.
meeting? What was that
Okay.
meeting like? So is it that
Okay.
when that situation that happens that when you're in a round table discussion with a stakeholder and
Yeah.
you're asking the stakeholder questions and the stakeholder has finished answering. Stakeholder is now looking at you like waiting for, okay, where's the next question? And then
What?
was that the kind of thing that
What's
happened to you?
happening? Yes, a little bit around that, but the stakeholder didn't even know how prepared I was all ready to get to hear everything I have to say. But at that first time, having not had the questions made it even hard because now rather than paying attention to what the stakeholder is saying, gathering requirements as usual, like documenting whatever that is said to be able to analyze them later, I'm now focused on thinking again to know the next line of question
Ouch.
to ask.
Ouch.
So now the focus has shifted from the idea around gathering the requirement to now prioritizing knowing the next line of
Exactly.
question. that was a mess. That was a mess because it affected the whole situation at that first period. In fact, my business lead thought I could possibly go for that interview again because save for the recording we did save for the recording because that one we had it in our in the back of our mind that okay good going for this interview it's good to go with recording. Apart from that, I would have I would have messed up the whole
Like,
situation. So it affected
okay.
a lot, but I learned a lot from it going
So,
forward. A whole lot of other stakeholders have thought. I've always told them, gotta ensure you have your questions ahead of time because you might just get into these interviews or you feel like you're utilizing interview technique, and then when you get there, you struggle like me. So these things are actually very good for lesson learned, especially when you're done with your
exactly.
project. That's the
Okay,
first thing.
okay. So I would like to hear more.
Anyway, okay, good. There are a whole lot. The second one is I learned not asking question. I learned it in a hard way. So I felt like I'm someone who can just get into a role, listen to you speak, then manage my way or meander my way through the whole process. But it was a different thing, right? After I'd done things myself at the first stake and realized I wasn't even carrying out the business activities well,
Okay.
you know. So the company I worked for then, we had a process. The process was clear, and you know that onboarding session is
Yes, true.
different. It's in the onboarding that a lot of stakeholders or people or staffs would get in to teach you what the process entails, how to use the CRM to respond to customers' feedback, especially if you've actually like reached out to them, and a whole lot around it. But the parts of these applications and tools, when they are not properly harnessed, might just lead into errors. So it was a groundbreaking moment for me because after I've learned from that experience, it taught me a great lesson around asking questions. So rather than just feeling like you're disturbing somebody or feeling like, oh, I wouldn't want to ask this question, oh, they would see me as a newbie. It's better they get to see you as that at that onset, that you run into that task and commit a whole lot of issues that probably might not be mediated because there are some issues that can be permanent. And if you didn't ask questions, they will just affect the whole company's outlook
Yeah, exactly.
generally. Just bring a sort of a bad name to the reputation of the company. So it was another one I learned to always ask questions when needed. Especially when I'm confused, don't just take the bull by the horn in most situations. Sometimes you leave the bull and the horn and take other
I'm telling
things.
you, this
Sometimes you
this
have to
this
do
thing about
that.
asking questions is very critical
Yeah,
as a business analyst because as a business analyst, asking questions is one of the skills you need. Be
very much. Very
yes, and
critical.
in tech, basically in tech, because as a tech support professional, tech is not your main strength. You're just a support. So it's a field that you're
Yeah,
coming
yeah.
into, and some things might not be you might not be used to certain things. So if you don't learn to ask questions, you'll be lost. Like literally, you'll be lost.
Very well.
You'll be lost. So
Very
asking,
well. Especially if you have people who are under or who you are
yeah,
under, or even if it's yeah, you'd have to always reach out to
yes.
them.
Yes,
Keep tabs.
exactly. And
Keep tabs.
you know why this thing is very funny. I can bet that this
Yeah.
same thing happened to you because it did happen to me. Like I'll be in a space,
Okay.
we'll be in a meeting, all of us are talking about something, and they would assume you understand what everybody's talking about.
Thank you. Thank you. That
They'll just
happens too.
assume that you know, but you don't know. And if you don't ask question, that's how they will assume that you know. And then if you don't ask question, they will now
And then
send you
carry
to go
on.
and do a task that involves that thing they were talking about that they assume you know. That's why you're not into.
A lot. No, really, yeah. So being able to ask for
Yeah.
clarity. Clarity opposes confusion in all levels. So being able to say, I really don't know this, I would need help. Sometimes human beings are somehow managing stakeholders, managing people is difficult. Even as we talk about managing people, it's not only people that you govern, it's not only people you lead. You can equally like manage the people you
Yes.
report to. And management has to do with just managing from up to bottom and from bottom to up. Anyhow, just being able to manage every stakeholders you are relating with, right? And sometimes they might just be giving you some sort of vibe on you don't know this, and you say that you are
Mm,
a tech
mm.
support. professional. You don't know this, and you say that you're a BA. You don't know this, and I know that, or you don't know this, and you say that you are a developer, a
Yeah.
tester, a quality assurance personnel,
Data
any of the roles you're
analyst.
taking in tech, right? Yeah, and sometimes it does like delimit stakeholders or staffs from asking or making
Mm.
inquiries, and that leads into a lot of errors. And probably people will stop asking questions after that. But then it does for me. If I don't get it, I'll tell you,
I
not
did.
clear.
I
Just
didn't
so
get it.
that just so that the result is
I
good.
didn't get it.
Yeah, general
Mm.
performance is okay.
All right.
Yeah, that's just another
Okay.
one.
Before you go on with the mistakes you've made, I said something earlier about
Yeah.
we are tech support professionals and we're coming from different fields. So I would like to know how did you land here? Where are you coming from? How did you become a tech support professional? How did you become a project manager or program manager or business analyst? How did you meander your way here?
Meander. Yes. Seriously, that meander serves it better because it does look like I was
Okay.
meandering, right? So I first of all had my certification as an under G as an English
You're
education
kidding.
student, right? I
No,
wouldn't have said that certification
sorry.
didn't help me.
Did you say
Yeah.
English? Not just English, English education.
Education, you're right. Thank you. So I'd wanted to make it larger so that you get to know that these skills, in as much as they are
Hmm.
very good, right? Talk about the education part helping me in my
Okay.
coaching because
Okay.
I train a lot
Oh
of
yeah.
students. Like I've trained a
Okay.
lot. People I'm proud of, people I can still relate and work with
Hmm.
till today. I've trained a lot of them, and then the education part is still
Wow.
working. But what is guiding me now is not just the teaching part; it's just the idea to have worked with a lot of them. So after my school, I studied in the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, English education to be precise. So after that, I went for NYSC, and all of those dreams of becoming rich and all of those dreams of getting money, and being able to strive, being able to have something doing, and the whole competition around. So where are you working now?
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you have
Yeah.
going on? And a whole lot of them. So after that, NYC was another level of depression. I don't know if it happens to everybody, but final year has its own depression. We're looking at, okay, good. What's happening now? What's going to happen? And then as you are, I don't know, probably not everyone's story, but for me, that particular situation came on board. And then the other idea around, okay, good, we're going for NYSC, that lessens it. After the NYSC, it's another
Hmm.
level because where are we going now? What was the? I remember my mom calling me to ask me after we passed out. Hello, Chima. Wait, is there any other thing they will do like the government is doing for you guys? I said, mommy, nothing. No. So it just dawned on me that I'd have to, buckle up, get into something, sell a skill, and all of that. What helped me majorly was family, because family got me into this, where I was told, okay, good, don't worry, we'll train you. When we get to train you, then you leverage with these skills, or you leverage utilizing these skills in the job market. I was like, okay, let's see it work. I invested a lot of my time to see that I get the key concept. After I've trained, I started working. I got my first job role as a program manager, having to manage project managers, business analysts in a team. And equally because of my training, I was able to like discharge some other instructions that they worked with, and
Interesting.
that helped me a whole lot.
Interesting.
Direct. So it's always a thing when I tell people it depends on what you want actually, but your field or your experience does not like define that. You'd have to like push the
Hmm.
blocks and get to your destination if you really are so determined to get into it.
Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful. I love asking tech support professionals this question because so many people once they hear tech, there's this illusion that tech is a no-go area. I don't like numbers, I don't like being complex, I don't like anything like that. And I keep trying to
You're right.
sensitize people about this reality. Imagine you coming from an English background. Don't tell me that, forget about the fact that you're using your education, let's face the reality that okay, you're coming from English.
About
Yeah, it's
English.
just pure English, and you're in tech, right? You're in tech. You're not doing. You're not. Are you writing any code, Chima? Do you used to write code? Do you write code? Do
There's no code
you
from
used
my
to
end,
code
though.
from my end? Oh,
There's no code
there's no
from my
code.
end.
Like, well, we're
Oh
we're
god.
just. I don't know. I don't know how else to simplify.
And to some extent, you're managing. You definitely be working with
Yeah.
developers, like those guys that
Yes.
you work with them. You be the one to set some sort of
Yeah.
requirement to tell them, guys, this is what we're working by, and you have to ensure you meet
I
quality.
like
You get the
putting it
point.
this way. We tell them what to do.
Thank you, and then ensure that they get
Do
it
it.
to have them
Yes.
done. They'll be like, no, no, it's not going to work. We'll be like,
No.
nah, that's co-creep, bro. That's co-creep. We have to abide by it. No,
My teammate used to say,
does look
my
like a
teammate
fight.
used to say, once it is, as far as there's one and zero, anything is possible. As
For
far as there's one and
real,
there's zero,
for real.
it's possible.
Then the language will be just look for a way around it. There's no way this
There's no
can be
way.
done. Look for a way. You probably would just download another application or just run another
Mm,
code. Check this code now. We can do this.
sometimes it's not possible.
Yeah, it does happen
Yeah.
really. That leadership ability. And one thing about business analysis, or when you talk about tech
Mm,
professionals or tech support, is that they have a sort of correspondence with every
yeah.
role. Talk about in a project, if you're a business analyst, you're definitely going to be working with a project
Yeah.
manager. You'll be working with developers, especially if it's
Yeah.
IT related. You'll be working with quality assurance
Mm,
personnel. You'll be working with what again? UI UX designers. And the reason is because in the focal point of the project you are managing, you are the one coordinating the
yeah.
scope. You are the one gathering the requirements, knowing what is needed,
True.
making the
True.
analysis. Because if we want to see the solution that works, we probably would come to you to tell you this is the business idea we
Mm,
have. What do you think? We probably would just like analyze your business case to be able to know all of those. So there's a whole lot of wealth within it. And it's just for people who are willing enough to grow therein that can explore it further.
wow.
Yep.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Chima. I'm just going to ask you one more question before we begin to sign off for this evening. Like I told you, this is Tech Tales, and it's all about conversations.
It's
And
a good one.
I'd just like to say that right here on Tech Tales, we just share conversations. And Chima, I believe you've been having a great time being here, right? And I believe that, okay.
It's
In
a good
fact, let's
one.
let's jump to
I'll
the
enjoy
comment
that.
section, and before we go to the last question, let's jump to the comment section. If you're here,
Are there things on the
oh
comment
yeah,
section? Let's get
let's
to
get
it.
there. If you're here joining us and you're just type in your name in the comment section, tell us where you're joining us from, say your name, where you're joining us from. I would like to meet you. Let's begin to meet people one by one. Right here we have Okori Chigozie Jafet joining us from Enugu. Thank you for joining us there. That's from LinkedIn. We have also we have here Eniola joining from Enugu's Ogun State. That's from LinkedIn. Eniola, thank you for joining us. And we have here Emmanuel. We have Emmanuel Oamen from that's from YouTube. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us. Thank you so much. I think Emmanuel is one of my colleagues. We worked together I think we worked in Kano and we
Cool.
worked in Niger State together. Worked in Niger State together. So thank you so much for joining us. Thank you. So if you're enjoying Tech Tales, come on, just type in the comment section. I am enjoying Tech Tales with myself, Hallel, and with Chima. Chima is a business analyst and project program manager. Right, so we're enjoying tech tales. So this is all about conversation. So let's jump right to the questions. Back to the questions, the final questions. Right. So now back to
Yeah, I wouldn't have to
yeah.
respond to
So how would you describe how valuable the role of a business analyst is in the success of tech projects? Generally, how would you describe the role of business analyst? And in your personal experience, how pivotal would you say the role of a business analyst is in the success of a tech project? If you can tell us a story, that would be fantastic.
Oh, good, makes sense. I think I've started saying it already. The fact that they stand in the center, they hold a tech project together to ensure that it's done
True.
well. So when we talk about
Mm,
quality, when we talk about quality, just being able to meet quality
okay.
standard, it's just has to lie on the shoulders of a business
True.
analyst. Anyway, every other stakeholders there are looking at quality as well. So I'm not like eliminating them. But since you're focusing on business analysts, it's still your responsibilities. It's your duty to gather the requirements of what the users want. End users, their
Mm,
feedbacks. It's your responsibility. It's still your responsibility to interact with the whole team. The project manager, you're there ensuring that what's called project scope is held in check. You are ensuring that the whole project plan is going on as needed. You're ensuring that you analyze the as is and it should be. That's the gap analysis, just so that you get the problem and then create a sort of an action plan to mitigate them. Then if you're talking about, okay, what strategy are we using? There's a whole lot of strategy, especially with analysis, right? If you want to know if it's justifiable, your project continues, you use a business case to know if it's justifiable by analyzing the cost benefits, right? Then a whole lot of strategies talking about prioritization, prioritize what is better, what's more required, and a whole lot of strategies around using in prioritization. We'll have a lot of technique, talk about Moscow, Kano model, ABC. There's a whole lot. So you find out that it's actually very integral for you to have a business analyst because one, you are striving to have a balance with competitors. So you need a business analyst who can analyze the markets, who can be able to give you a solution that works and be able to make some sort of predictions that you can abide by and then improve the process. Process improvement greatly lies on the shoulders of the project of the business analyst because of the nature of the work they handle. Yep, very integral.
Okay, before I let you go, there's this thing that happens a lot. Before I jumped into business analysis, I was kind of like an operations manager for an organization, and most of their jobs usually go through
Okay.
me. And okay, no, I was a business developer, and most of the clients that we used to get were for tech projects, right? And you see someone that wants to do a tech project, like build an app for a business, build a website for a business, and the first thing that comes to their mind is that they need a developer. Do you think that is the right process? Do you think that if you
Okay,
want to
good.
do a business now, the first thing, if you want to do a tech solution for my business,
A tech
yeah, do,
project.
do you think that the first point of contact should be a developer? If not, who should be the first point of contact?
Developer is majorly on execution. A developer is majorly on execution, right? The whole idea around planning, getting things together. If you want to cook and you want to cook it within a
Yeah,
time, you'd have to get all of your condiments together.
true.
You get make everything ready. Then now when you start cooking, it's going to be swift and
Yeah.
efficient, right? So if you're looking at, okay, preparing the soup and the first thing you're looking at is how to on the gas and start cooking when the condiments aren't available, you run into
Yeah.
errors, right? So the role of a business analyst can be overemphasized on based on the fact that you'd have to is the work of using the cooking as an
Yeah.
example. Actually, you'd have to make inquiries. This particular soup or
Mm.
this particular food, what and what is needed. Now, those details you are getting and those stuff you're eliciting would help you develop something that can stand the test of
Mm-hmm.
time because everything is based on alignment. So, with developing any IT solution, developer shouldn't even be the. In fact, before we get to developer, you should be talking about the product designer. You should be talking about the UI
Mm.
UX. There are levels to these
Yeah.
things. Yeah. So being able to have a sort of a wireframe, high fidelity wireframe, a prototype you can abide by before you develop is key. Why? Because with that wireframe, you can make amends, you can make changes. So we don't need this, take it off. Oh, bring this. So that when you are done with the wireframe, so you now have an authentic document that or a blueprint that developers can work on,
Mm.
right? Yes, but if you're working with developers directly, save if the developers have business idea and are into business analysis as well. Because in this tech field, there are a whole lot of people that
Yeah.
merge
True.
responsibilities. Like they have the skills. That's what could save that. That means in a segment they're working as a business analyst. In another segment, they're trying to couple the role of a designer, which will be a lot depending on the nature of the product. Unless if you're producing just a simple tech tool
Yeah.
that can have a few stakeholders in there. So it
You, you,
depends.
you can't
Yeah, but you can't just join all of
you
those
can't be a
developers.
specialist when you're a jack of all trades. You and I know this. You can't.
Being specific matters a
Yes.
lot. Being specific
So
matters a lot.
I would I always recommend that if you're in business and you want to start an IT project, you want a solution for your business, your first point of contact should be a business analyst. Your first point of contact should be a business analyst. That's the person that's going to help you do this planning. In fact, the business analyst will
Yeah.
help you know how you go about that whole project entirely. Save you time, save you money. that's just the thing, for us at the back community, it's one thing that is very critical because we prioritize the importance of tech support professionals in the success of projects. And this is one thing that we want Tech Tales to be able to pass across to everyone, to understand that in our society, especially in Africa, we can do more with tech, but we need to have a higher success rate of projects around Africa. And one key factor to this is engaging more business analysts in all projects that we're engaging in. Yeah.
You're right. You're right. BAs are really needed. There's this particular project I'm
Okay.
working on, and when I got in there, I didn't see a BA there. I didn't.
Wow.
I was like, "What's happening? What is happening?" And it's a project we had in mind that we're going to start January. Till now, we've not started.
Okay.
And I just told them the reason is because there's no because in that project, to be honest, I'm working as a project manager to manage it. But I was so inquisitive of okay, good. Where's the BA? They said they don't have yet. So what's the
Why?
problem? Anyway, till from January till now, they've not started because they are looking at understanding the project first. But had it been a BA is there, a BA must have elicited what the
Yeah.
project is about, get to know the scope, get to know the definite requirements that will be delivered, and then work along with every of the stakeholders to ensure that their segments of their deliverables have been worked on. Very
True.
important. So when you talk about BAs being critical, back is right. Like your community is actually quite right with that
Yeah.
idea. So it's something we should be projecting forward. No
Wow.
life.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chima. Thank you for joining us this evening. I really, really appreciate. This is Tech Tales, and we just had Mr. Chima with us share with us the mistakes he made as a rookie BA.
A lot,
And I know these ones.
a lot that
I
we're
know
not
these
proud of
ones you
here.
shared with us are the least embarrassing ones. I know that if we,
I didn't want to delve deep. I didn't want to delve deep.
I know you don't want the one that when you share, I will be like, you know, I was
It's
on
a good one.
Tempestuous posts, I think today or yesterday, and she
Okay.
said something very striking. She was talking about fear of starting, and I jumped in the comment section and I said something. I said, if you're the kind of person who is not ready to start afraid, then don't be a BA. Don't be a BA. Don't
Yeah.
be a BA because the project I'm handling currently is so multifaceted that when I jumped on the project and saw all the stakeholders that are connected to the project, I was like, what's going on here? And then to start with, the first task they now gave me about the project, it was something else. So it was more or less like I was facing a monster. Do you understand? Yeah, it's like you're facing a monster. And then when you now go for stakeholder meetings, you're seeing people that are acting like your friend, but they're not your friend. They're acting like they want you to succeed, but they don't want you to succeed. You know how this kind of thing is now. It was
Uh,
if basically if you're afraid of failing, then not be a business analyst because it's all about guts. You have to be able to look something in the face and be like, you know what, I'm going to face you regardless. And yeah, sometimes you're going to fail. Sometimes you're going to fail. Sometimes you're going to make mistakes, but it doesn't matter. Stand up again, you dust yourself up, and you move on. And
and
yeah, exactly.
continue.
And looking at the person you've become right now, it's obvious that those mistakes they had nothing on you. They had nothing on you.
And something about those experiences is just the fact that you keep learning
Yeah.
from
Okay.
them. Yeah, you keep learning from them. In Nigeria, here in the Igbo land, would say "Osisiana
Uh,
adumadnani bona."
uh,
It's sort of
uh,
an adage that is softly
yeah.
translated to a sort of you won't like a sort of an occurrence won't happen two
Yes.
times. Just the translation. So when you look at that situation, documenting the lessons you've learned over time is very important. And that's why we have in a project what we call lesson learned document, because you have to document them to keep you in check so that you don't repeat those errors
Mm,
again as you proceed in your profession. Yeah, they're actually very
yeah.
good. I'm not looking forward to getting into them anymore.
Exactly. Exactly. Thank you so much, Shima, for coming on board. We really do appreciate you. We hope that when Tech Tales calls next time, you'll be available, and we look forward to collaborating with you on more and more projects. Thank you so much. All right.
Yeah, thanks so much, Hallel, for bringing me in. I do appreciate it. And the back community as well. I feel like enough flowers isn't being given to them. But yeah, it's a good one. Thank you so much for having me, and I do
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Thank you too. Thank you.
All right.
So there you have it. Thank you so much for joining us today. We've come to the end of Tech Tales and an exciting story from Chima, who shared with us the experiences, the mistakes he made as a rookie BA. You heard it right here on Tech Tales. So my name is Hallel, and we've come to the end of today's event. We'll make sure to notify you when we're having another episode, and we hope that you'll join us again next time. Feel free to watch this video again. It's live there on YouTube. It's right here on LinkedIn, and you can connect with me. And if you think you have a story, an experience you'd like to share with us on Tech Tales, do reach out to me in my DM. Don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'll be more than willing to discuss with you and see how we can bring you up here on stage to share your experience with us. This event is brought to you by the Business Analysis Consortium, and we are more than happy to bring this to you to let you know that tech support professionals are the future of the world. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here with us. We are grateful for joining us. So it's from me and my team. It's good night. Bye-bye.
See your face. I wanna know your heart. I wanna